And we're back. Thank you for joining us for today's clothing brief. Of course, this is a little different than our longer form podcast, Clothing Culture Podcast. Today, we are just bringing you the hot topics in the news lines of our industry. So we are going to start with the first one that's a little bit of a shocker for me. One of the, top items in wardrobe since the pandemic era, the legging, is it's dying.
I've never worn it, so I'm not really sure I'm missing it too much, but it's definitely down. It was representing in 2020 around 47% when like hanging at home and athleisure was a big conversation. And now it's down in the 30s. So it continues to drop. I think, every cycle has its time, and I don't think it's going to go away, but I think it's, it's also addressing all these things that we've talked about in previous episodes about all over activewear trend starting to declining. Having an impact too. Nike suffering, Lululemon's trying to rediscover. So even Lululemon is reducing their assortment in leggings. And so I think just taking a look at that overall trend is important today and seeing what's next.
So what are people going to wear for yoga?
I have no idea. Baggy pants.
That is something that's on the rise for sure.
Yeah.
So a wonderful Midwest company, Everlane, has been reporting some evolution in what they're doing. The CEO is taking charge and getting ready to amplify what's happening with that brand.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is that, Everlane, came into the market in about 2010, a San Francisco-based company. And I remember...
Oh, it's not Midwest.
No, San Francisco-based originally.
Yeah.
And what was amazing about that brand was this radical transparency, kind of direct from factory to consumer, all this conversation about introducing you to the sewers and the lines and social equity. And, it was like, wow, this is this amazing new kind of look into
kind
a
of
concept.
Pre-Quince.
It was. And other companies like Quince, Proper Cloth, all these other groups have kind of taken cues from Everlane and established this business, following, I think, Everlane's footprint that started in 2010. Alfred Chang is taking over the reins. They went sort of CEO-less for a while. The board kind of managed it for a while, and now they're merging. This is a new chapter. I think for a lot of these companies, there are some interesting headwinds, and we've talked about things, in past episodes with the removal of de minimis. A lot of these companies that went from direct from factory to customer, they didn't pay traditional duties. Didn't have tariffs, it was like duty and tax free or tariff free.
Because they were shipping just to each single customer.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that provided the ability for this radical transparency, affordability, profitability. Everlane's been really a nice profitable organization with all these things. And so there's going to have to be some new ideas, and certainly Alfred Chang looks to be in that key position to provide that new leadership.
They're really looking at marketing to tell kind of a bigger story from what I've read. And it also seems from a product assortment standpoint, they're really leaning into quiet luxury.
Yeah, what makes sense, right? As price points go up, go into luxury.
Yeah. We've seen some stories on a brand that we had a chance to see, back in Tech's World, I believe a year ago, Modern Meadow, excuse me, my little tongue twister there.
It's okay, your tongue was on vacation last week, so maybe it needs to come back.
Has been promoting Innovera. This is a bio-fabricated leather that is touting all kinds of wonderful performance, animal-free, and they really looks like they're really prepared to scale at this point.
Yeah, hopefully. So many of these organizations that we kind of talk to, the output is pretty small and the expense is pretty large. It is exciting. It does really act and feel like leather. It's got it's got increased durability, which is nice. It's a combination of like 80% carbon-based plant life form and rubber. So I think it's interesting. They say it has the look and feel of leather with up to twice the strength. So we'll see how that whole thing shifts there.
Yeah, we'll keep a watch out on that. kind of going back to the luxury space, LVMH has been placed under some court supervision.
Well, specifically the Laura Piana group. I think, Laura Piana's been in the news, our news at least,
Yes.
in a couple of these episodes. And what's interesting goes back to the whole conversation that we talked about, where Made in Italy has been a little unique, as a unique branding ad, where there's just a bunch of Chinese nationals that have been moved into Italy, working in these lines, producing these garments, but they're made in Italy
Yeah, so
of
they
Chinese
still have
workers.
That price tag
And perhaps now there's some issues. They've been cited with 90-hour work weeks, underpaid illegal workers, and so I think
not so luxury, is it?
not so well. within every luxury brand, there's always challenges, I think, in different levels. And when a brand gets really, really large, supervision becomes more and more challenging. And I think it's a wake-up call for this specific brand. And hopefully that will help sort the way for avoiding some of these issues in the future. But it's been a situation in Italy for some time, using these Chinese workers on the ground in Italy to made in Italy product.
Right. Our final story today is another story of luxury. This is a follow-up to a topic we discussed a few weeks ago when, of course, that Jane Birkin bag, the original Jane Birkin bag, was going up for auction. Well, it went up for auction, the hammer went down, and boy, did it come down.
Wow, $10 million.
Yes, price tag on that. Isn't that amazing? So they opened that bid at $1 million. That was astounding. So, obviously it's a moment in history, for an iconic moment in history for this brand. It launched them into this whole new arena with this bag that, many, many decades later is still holding quite a price tag.
I'm sending all my old clothes to Sotheby's Paris and see what I can get for them, because I'm sure there's only one of a kind left of those. So.
For certain. Yeah. Yes. Well, those are our notes today. Do you have any other things that you think people need to know?
It's great to be back.
It is great to be back.
And see you next week.
Yeah, we have a great episode that just launched today on syrup. And this is a great AI-empowered technology that's helping buyers make smarter decisions. So check that out on our long-form podcast. And don't forget to meet us back here next week at noon to discuss what else has been happening. Thanks for joining us.